Welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make made-to-measure patterns with Lutterloh system. A good pattern is half the success of any sewing project. So there are certainly many benefits in having a pattern that really fits you. You will always love the fact that you work in your measurement, taking only 2 measurements. So you can forget about the adjustments in the commercial patterns. Also in the system, if you change your measurement, for example, in 5 years, you can always have the new fitted pattern for your new figure. Of course, you combine the styles and create for yourself and all your family. As you will see, it's really easy and accurate. In order to draft your pattern, you will need paper. In fact, you can use any kind of paper. The one I use is a little translucent and comes in a roll. It's so practical. You can take just the length you need, cutting more for a pair of pants or a small piece for a shirt. You also need the curved rulers. If you have already one, you can try them. The system has their own rulers, especially designed to always have the perfect curve when you draft your patterns. Also, you need a scotch, scissors, and a pencil or little marker. And we work with little patterns like the one you can download. And we work with a metric tape, start the centimeters, and in the other side we have a little scale. All this material you can find it in the website. You need only 2 measurements to make your made-to-measure patterns. The bust contour for everything from the waist up, and hip contour for everything below the waist. So we take our measurement with the metric tape. You go in the fullest part of the back and in the fullest part of the front. So here I have 108. And the hip area, the fullest part of the back, the fullest part of the hips area. And if you don't have a stomach, abdomen, you can go straight. If you have abdomen or little belly, you go a little upper to consider the abdomen for the crotch in the patterns, in the pants pattern. So here I have 108. So the thing you need to do is to tape the pattern in the paper. You tape it with the scotch. All the pattern has a little cross inside, lines with numbers. So we need a cardboard underneath. And now we look for our measure in the scale. So in the scale we have only even numbers that correspond from the bust contour and hip contour. Mine was 108, so I look for 108, and all the number has a hold in the right hand side. I have the centimeters, and I have from 50 for babies up to 140 for extra sizes. Mine, I'm going to work in 108 for this example. So I'm going to pin it in the center cross. I pin it and fix it. Now these ones turn freely around. So now I'm going to stop in each line. I'm going to align the edge of the scale and look for the number. So for example here 18. So I look for 18 in the metric tape and I'm going to mark with a dot in 18. In the next line, we are going to align. Again, we have 18. So we mark 18. Now we're going to 15. And we look for 15 in the metric tape to mark our dot. Now we're going to 19. And we have 33. Here we have the armhole and the side already. Now we continue with the dart. We have 35 and 36 already in proportion. And the last one for the shoulder is 37 and a half. So the thing we need to do is align in each line, marking the dot. 11, that comes here, just in here, 11. That gives us the dot for the dart, the dot inside our pattern. Now I have 19 and a half and 19 here. So now I have 3 dots below the waist that corresponds to the hip area. So I'm going to change to my hip measurement. For me was also 108. So I'm going to put it in the center cross. I'm going to align. In my first line is 20. Now I have 21. And the last one is 26. I have already all the dots. So now I'm going to join the curve for the armhole and the crotch for kids here. The perpendicular for the strain of the grain and for size of buttons. Here we have the curve for hip area for the hips. So with your curve, you're going to join the dots. So we are going to connect the dots following the lines in the little pattern. So here we have straight lines. Here we have the armhole. So we look for 3 dots to look for the best curve that we can draft. So we have easily beautiful patterns. So here we have straight line, the little extra for the dart, and we finish the shoulder, a curve in the neckline, and a straight line in the front here. Here we have a straight line, straight line. So now we have the dot for the dart. If you remember, we mark the 11, the dot that comes inside our pattern. Here we have the center front, so we can take this measure here. So we have 2 centimeters to come parallel to the center. Here is center front. Now I have the waist. I can take 10 and a half in here. So we have the waistline parallel to the bottom line, and we have the dart at the waist that comes from the bust dot and goes down perpendicular to the waistline here. And we mark all the symbols inside the pattern. A means front, little a to connect with the A in the back. This is the center from the M in a symbol page. that comes in the complete kit. And I'm going to mark the strength of the grain perpendicular to the waistline. And this pattern now is to my measurement. I'm going to try it, and I'm going to finish my dart in the waistline that comes up to the side, the dot in the side. Now the dot in the side here, and for my dart in the waist. Here I can take 3 centimeters, or I can measure my waist to adjust to my waist, or take 3 centimeters, 1.5 each side for a standard dart. So we have a pattern to my measure. I need to add all the patterns needs the seam allowance all around. So I'm going to try it on to show you how this fits. So in order to try on your pattern to see how it fits to you, I'm going to cut it in the sewing line, and I'm going to prepare it by folding the darts and tape them with a scotch or with a pin. So we are going to look if there are anything that we can adjust. Here I have my center front, my waistline, the shoulder and the side. Here I have my side and my waist. So the armhole is just perfect. Of course, there are, with the same measurement, there are people that are taller or shorter. So is the shorter waist and the longer waist. You can adjust at the cross. Where the cross was, I should have copied it, is where you can adjust for the shorter waist or the longer waist. If you need to shorten it, you can fold it. Or if you want to lengthen it, you cut it out and adjust the length you need. Let me show you also the gauge. This is to divide easily the spaces, the parts. It's excellent for the buttons and the button holes. You can find it in our website. We have different kind of pattern represented by symbols. Of course, we have a pattern for a stretch fabric represented with a knit symbol. Extra size pattern represented by a black figure. That means there are beautiful classic style that come with more ease. Also slim and maternity patterns. You will find all these symbols in a symbol page inside the complete kit. When you work with the Lutterloh system, you can mix and match the different patterns to create your own styles. Also, in each pattern, you can transform to make infinity possibilities. You can define your own style by choosing from the entire collection the style that fits you better for your figure. Make one pattern you love in different fabric. You will see beautiful results. If you have any question, feel free to ask us in the comments below. It will be a pleasure to answer you and to be in contact. The system comes in with 280 patterns in a binder. You have all the tools, the metric tape, the scotch and the pins, the DVD, all the instructions, practical hints for the hobby dressmaker, the symbol page, you have it here, the symbol page, and you have 280 different styles. You can see all this material in the website. We have an special with the rulers, and we have it also in French and in Spanish. Get started with the Lutterloh system. You will find that with a little practice you can master this method to make your own patterns. Of course, for beginners, you can start with something easy like a skirt or a t-shirt. Learn the basics in your first projects and move to more advanced ones. For intermediate sewers, you have all the possibilities. You can explore, create, and go forward. Just let your creativity go free. And of course, there are projects for advanced sewers like tailored garments and wedding dresses, formal wear, and the possibility to mix and match the different patterns to create your own styles. So the creativity is the limit. You will find the e-shop in the video description.